As we promised, we are going to shed more light on the event which marked the celebration of the IFC Day in Egypt, or the International Finance Corporation Day, as it was attended by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of International Cooperation Dr. Rania Al-Mashad, and a number of statesmen and top executives to shed more light on the deals which were signed, on the IFC in general, and about the event of yesterday. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Amr Saleh, Professor of Political Economy. Thank you very much for being with us, Dr. Amr, and a very good morning first.
Very good morning to you and to all people that are watching us today. Thank you.
If you permit me, let's go to start with the deal signed between Egypt and the IFC. And when it comes to these deals, it means that the IFC, as an organization affiliated to the World Bank, they do have this kind of trust in the Egyptian economy as an emerging economy, as an economy which is really very promising to achieve the goals of economic sustainable development on the ground. If you would you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, that's very true. Let me give you just a brief about the investments of the IFC in Egypt and the cooperation between the IFC and Egypt. You know that IFC is one of the arms. It is the financial arm of the World Bank. And just to let you know that I had the pleasure and the honor to be one of the project officers and to work with the World Bank and the IFC in Egypt 2005. The IFC is collaborating as a member of the World Bank. The IFC actually is a member of the World Bank and is investing in Egypt, helping the government. We were helping the government with the IFC to improve the country's infrastructure and support manufacturing company, improving access to finance for small and medium enterprises. One of the targets of the IFC was to improve the access to finance for the SMEs, for the small and medium enterprises, with the government of Egypt. And historically, the IFC had a very interesting and very successful investment programs in Egypt. During the last 20 years, they invested over $30,000 million in different projects, varying from the banking, manufacturing, infrastructure, hospitality sector, and
other parts. But sir, here I should focus on two elements, if you permit me to, because what you have said is very important. First, the importance of SMEs, or small and medium projects, and how they are of the priorities of the state, as we cannot depend only on mega projects, but SMEs are very important, or they are the other arm, or the other side of the coin when it comes to economic progress. Number two, the strategic partnership between the public and private sector, as it was focused on in the speech of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli yesterday. Would you please, I'd like you to elaborate on both.
Exactly. The private sector has been always at the heart of the IFC. Just to let you know that the IFC investments in Egypt went to around $1.5 billion, including financing private sector integration to the economy. The IFC has always worked to design and support Egypt's private sector involvement and participation into the development of the economy, creating jobs, creating growth, and considering the private sector as an engine for growth for the economy. These days, and even years ago, President Fattah al-Sisi have called for a vital and more participation for the private sector in the economy. You know that our private sector is very active, especially, and I thank you for that, especially the SMEs. The SMEs is one of the engine of growth of the economy. It is the engine of growth of the economy. Well, the big companies are having big investment, and big companies is good. It's good for the technology, for innovation. But the one that makes a dynamic change and a rapid change in an economy are SMEs. So the SMEs have always been at the heart, and the private sector has been been always at the heart of the job creation, to drive economic growth, to foster different types of sustainable economy, inclusive development, so that the economy would benefit from a growth in different sectors and not only in one sector. So coming back to your question, I think that the IFC is one of the international organizations that had very interesting and very successful cooperation with the government of Egypt to introduce the private sector. And I said that the cooperation between Egypt and the IFC have always very important in the banking sector, manufacturing, infrastructure,
you name it. We are speaking about a number of fields, and this was mentioned more than once in the speech of Her Excellency Dr. Amr Saleh, Minister of International Cooperation, as she really praised the fruitful cooperation between the IFC and Egypt. If you want to also elaborate on her speech yesterday.
Yeah, you know that the IFC has provided trade financing to the different economic sectors, especially the banking, tourism, helping the lenders' clients to import commodities like pharmaceuticals, for example, fertilizers, spare parts. The IFC has supported the country manufacturing sectors, which take today around 20% of the equity stake in Egypt. And IFC has invested more than $25 million in carbon holdings to improve the petrochemicals sectors in Egypt. 10 million, for example, if I'm not mistaken, 10 million loan for the hospitality sector to support the expansion and help some of the companies to preserve jobs and to create a better output in the hospitality sector. So our portfolio actually with the IFC is a big portfolio, and you know what? You know that one of the very important measures of success between a country and an international organization and donors is simply the portfolio. How much this organization is ready to put money, how much this organization is already putting money and investing in a country, and how much the technical assistance, what is called TA, technical assistance.
Amen to that, sir, and to boost the banking system, for example, to introduce financial and non-financial services. This is very important to have our projects based on scientific studies to fight bureaucracy. For example, yesterday the Premier said that we have given more than 50 golden licenses for already existing projects, and we amended the, if I may call it this way, the situation and the executive status of other factories or companies or even small and medium projects. I mean, we do have a comprehensive view or a panoramic view when it comes to these issues. If you want to also elaborate on that and the importance of this point which was raised by the Premier yesterday.
Yeah, this is a very important point, and let me tell you also that as said before, I had the pleasure and the honor to work with the IFC. We have worked on opening business, financing the SMEs, especially in countries like Algeria, Morocco, and other countries in the Middle East. The IFC has lots of experience with the Middle East countries, and I'm going to tell you that Egypt is one of the top countries with whom the IFC has worked and participating in financing investments in developing countries. Our portfolio is very big, and the technical assistance that has been given by the IFC, especially in the banking sector, this is a very important point, by the way, is that's what's called access to finance. The access to finance is one of the sectors that have been very important and very crucial for the IFC and for the government to help the private sector to get more loans and to get more assets and to get more investments in order to increase its productivity and output in the economy. And this is one of the targets and one of the things that the government of Egypt and the government is actually today stressing on and shedding the light on, which is the participation, the more active participation of the private sector in the economy.
And in fact, sir, the event of yesterday, it's a kind of a ceremony, an annual meeting to celebrate the achievements implemented on the ground by this fruitful cooperation between the IFC and Egypt. And as if it is a sustainability report, speaking about what was achieved, what are the future goals of both, what can be implemented on the ground, the dreams which are not dreams anymore, they are processes going on. Yesterday it was a kind of a celebration more than anything else, if you agree with me on that.
I do agree, a celebration, and we do have the right to celebrate. And the IFC should be very proud, and we are actually very proud with the cooperation that we had with the IFC. IFC should also be very proud because, you know, as much as they put money, as much you get a positive feedback for your projects. The IFC, as an international donors, is really interested to have partners and good partners with whom success stories could be written. And I can tell you that Egypt is one of the most successful success stories of a cooperation between the IFC and its partners. The IFC had, and we have, we had lots of interesting and successful success stories. Needless to say that investments from the IFC that would go to billions of dollars mean that the projects were successful, phases were very successful, and that's why, as you said, today is a celebration of successful cooperation between the government of Egypt and the IFC as an international.
And this came, sir, just days after Fitch announced that they upgraded Egypt's sovereign credit rating. And this is another, if I can say, it's a proof of the international economic institutions' trust in the economic process in Egypt and all the state's procedures taken on the ground to move forward with our economy. These issues are a little bit related, or can give us an idea about what's going on the ground?
Yeah, sure. As I told you before, on the ground, the cooperation was very successful, especially in lots of economic sectors. And nowadays, the IFC is going towards sustainability, and we talk about the carbon investment, the investing in hydrogen, the investment in
green hydrogen, yes.
Yeah, greener economy, in new areas and new ways of energy. And let me tell you also that, and this is a very technical point, that the IFC is one of the organizations that are really and highly attached to sustainability. The IFC, before financing a project, is doing what is called sustainability
yes.
Study.
Yeah.
And a feasibility study. A feasibility study for the sustainability of the project. And we're not talking about financial stability, by the way. We're talking about the green stability. That the project wouldn't have, when the IFC, and this is a very interesting point, when the IFC would choose to finance a sector or a project and to cooperate with the government, a feasibility study, an environmental feasibility study is done to ensure that the project will not have any impact on the environment. On the contrary, that the project will lead and bring sustainable development and a greener sustainability to the country and to the economy. And this is actually one of the very interesting technical areas where the IFC is really
Dr. Amr, this is a big file, and if you permit me, I'm going to have a promise that you are going to be our guest live here in the studio to speak and in more details about the IFC Egypt fruitful cooperation and the results on the ground. Well, we were very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Amr Saleh, Professor of Political Economy. And by this we come to the end of our episode. Stay tuned on Nile TV International always for more updates. Many thanks for watching. This was Nermeen Abdurrahman.